And I will now call on our National Vice Commanders to join me on stage for our next presentation, which will be given by Bron Mogenis, trustees of the Chapel of the Four Chaplains Foundation, and the foundation chairman of the board, Louis Cavalier.
The Legion of Honor Bronze Medallion from the Chapel of Four Chaplains is granted for extraordinary contributions to the well-being of others at the national or world level, to world peace, or to interfaith or interethnic understanding. The medallions are being presented by Bron Mogenis, Trustee Chapel of the Four Chaplains, and Foundation Board Chairman Louis Cavalier. They are being awarded to National Commander Denise H. Rowan, National Vice Commander Larry J. Marcouillet, National Vice Commander William J. Flanagan, National Vice Commander Bobby D. Bryant, National Vice Commander Byron I. Callies, and National Vice Commander Paula R. Stevenson. Also being awarded is National Adjutant Daniel S. Wheeler.
Okay, go ahead. Good morning, Commander, honorable guests, ladies and gentlemen. The first thing I ask is that you disregard some of the shortcomings that I may have. This English happens to be my fourth language, so consequently, it's a little slower than the other ones, but that's not really true. I just wanted to get your attention. No tradition of American society is more precious to or characteristic of our culture than that of a voluntary reaching out to neighbors in need. Such selfless service is part of both our civic and our religious heritage. The Chapel of Four Chaplains, a national nonprofit organization, is founded upon the one shining manifestation of our heritage, that our four Army chaplains who were giving their life jackets to soldiers who had none, linked arms with one another and went down with the USAT Dorchester when it was torpedoed on February 3, 1943. This historical event began at Torpedo Junction, a U-boat infested icy waters of North Atlantic during World War II. On January 23, 1943, the USAT Dorchester, an old steamer quickly pressed into military service, left York Harbor for Greenland. The Dorchester was escorted by 3 Coast Guard cutters, 2 patrolling at flanks, the 3rd bringing up the yards in the rear. Most of the men were seasick and green and nausea. The weather was bitterly cold and gale force winds. Ice began building up on the deck and slowing the Dorchester to 10 knots. Moving among them were 4 Army chaplains: George F. Fox, Alexander D. Goody, Clark B. Poling, and John P. Washington. The chaplains talked with and listened to the men, soothing their apprehensions. Their concern and their camaraderie of the men and one another, they brought solace. On February 2, 1943, Tampa sonar system detected the presence of submarine. They swept the area but failed to find the submarine position. That evening, the Tampa returned to patrol area up front, and the other ships followed. The captain ordered the men to sleep in their clothing with life jackets close by. They were only 150 miles from Greenland. With daylight, there would be air cover from the American air base. It was just midnight on February the 3rd, 1943. An enemy submarine fired a torpedo towards Dorchester's flank. The missile exploded in a boiler room destroying the electric supply and releasing suffocating clouds of steam and ammonia. Many aboard died instantly. Some were trapped on the deck. Others jolted with their bunks, groped and stumbled their way to the decks of the stricken vessel. They on water, the ship began listing to starboard. Overcrowded lifeboats capsized. Rafts drifted away from anyone who could reach them. Men clung to the icy frozen walls, unable to let go into the icy water below. The open storage locker room, there was limited life jackets. The chaplains coaxed men frozen with fear over the side. Soon the supply of life jackets was exhausted, and several survivors reported watching in awe as the four chaplains either gave away or forced upon the young men their own life jackets. These four men of God had given away the only means of saving themselves in order to save others. The chaplains gathered together and led the men around the prayer hymn. They linked their arms together. The slant of the deck became severe, and just that way, with their arms linked in brotherhood and their heads bowed in prayer, they sank beneath the waves. It was a heroic act. Today, as in many years, the Chapel of Chaplains served in memory of these brave men and carries a message of interfaith cooperation, of selfless service. Today, we try to encourage acts of volunteerism, brotherhood, and sacrifice. Chapel was established the honor program, a humanitarian award given for a lifetime or career of outstanding humanitarian service, and has profoundly acted upon the common good. It's unusual to be that selfless, that when you give your life jacket away, you know you're giving your life away. So these are the kinds of things that the American Legion tries to foster and bring about in today's younger generation growing up, to see that we look at life as very important, look at religion as very important. We must make sure that our heroes receive the support they need as they return home. Many of our young servicemen and women, wounded or not, need our help. They have been fewer changed by war while serving our great nation. Thousands are in military hospitals, recovering from the loss of limbs, traumatic brain injuries, or worse. Many need jobs. Others suffer from emotional and mental scars of war. The American Legion is dedicated to caring for our wartime veterans, regardless of what war they had exposure to, Iraq, Afghanistan, and we do even more with the support of all the Legionnaires. There's no organization that does so much constantly as the American Legion. We must never forget those who sacrifice so much to protect our freedom, to protect what we have today and enjoy today, because they put themselves at risk. So I'm here today, a retired FBI employee, a person who has always honored the flag, been in the service. I'm attached to the 56th Hoover Memorial. Some of those things you don't forget, you can't forget. So the people that we are trying to nominate, that we will nominate today, if I read your names, please make yourself available. We'll have somebody go around to actually give you the award that I was talking about. National Commander Denise Rowan. Paula Stevenson. Bobby Bryant. Larry Marcolier. Byron Callis. William Flanagan. Last but not least,
Daniel Wheeler. Daniel Wheeler, right there. Okay.
last but not least, Mr. Wheeler. How are you?
Okay, Bron, let's go over and take a picture. So on behalf of the Chapel of Four Chaplains, I want to thank everybody. I want to thank the American Legion for their support. Posts from all over the country, we thank you. And this is all about family first, which is all about selfless service, and that's what we're all about, celebrating that. Thank you very, very much, and let's hear it for this great crowd of awardees.